Live. And good evening, everyone. This is week 2 of play. There was character creation in week 1 last week for our Skulls and Shackles home campaign. We are currently on book 1. I am Arthur Perkins. I am the GM for this campaign, and I will ask the players to introduce themselves and their characters very briefly. Let's go right to left this time on the tabletop, which will start with Sifrig.
All right, my name is Craig. My character's name is Sifrig. He's a dwarf barbarian, kind of a bar brawler, punch first, ask questions later, kind of ask questions later kind of guy.
All right. Dan, tell us about yourself and Kirill.
I am Dan. My character is Kirill. He's a half-elf investigator, kind of styled along the lines of kind of if Indiana Jones wasn't so above the law, but with pirates.
I'm being told that the stream is currently being recursive, so let's see if I can fix that here real quick. There we go. That's better. Alright. Adam, tell us about yourself and Novardi.
Sure. My name's Adam, and I am playing an Elven Arcane Bomber, which is a wizard archetype. So it's basically a mix of an alchemist and a wizard. It's extra squishy.
And Lorraine, tell us about yourself and Sarissa.
Alright, my name's Lorraine, and for Skulls and Shackles, I am playing the part of Sarissa, a human wave oracle who's very fond of the water, but has shown herself to be completely incompetent at actually sailing.
So, in the future, there will be someone assigned to take notes, starting with this session. And I'll figure out who to assign in a moment. But does anyone remember or would like to recall very briefly what happened last time?
We got press ganged. Sifrig got beat up.
Twice.
All true.
Somebody
We got
called me fat.
members of the pirate ship who told us about the ways to operate and what we can do to help make it a little easier on ourselves. We got assigned to different duties. I failed miserably at my attempt and was being keel-hauled when they caught someone thieving who they instead killed.
Oh, they keel-hauled the crap out of him. Yep. That's what happens when they draw you slowly over those barnacles. Just remember, some of you are complicit in his death because you helped haul him. So let me ask you, crew, do you remember what the name of the ship was?
Wormwood.
Yes.
Ah, excellent. And what was the name of the captain?
Hold on, I have it written
I'll give
down
you a
somewhere.
hint. It's in the journal section. But I'm hoping you're taking notes. Oh, I haven't revealed
What?
it in the journal section to the players.
Barnabas Harrigan.
Excellent. Who is the man who repeatedly beat Sifrig?
I think that was Mr. Plug. Was it not?
No.
No. The quartermaster.
No, the quartermaster is a half-orc.
That's right. I'm throwing darts then, obviously.
He's
I know
Mr.
Ambrose
Plugs.
Croup. I know Ambrose Croup is the cook, and I am his maid.
Mate. You're his cook's mate.
Mate. Okay, I have
Maid,
that written
mate,
down
you know.
wrong. I have that written down.
The man who was beating Sifrig is the current Master of Arms. Mr. Plug's first go-to guy, Master Scourge, who is featured prominently with his whip.
And Master Plug is...
Master Plug is the first
mate.
mate.
Okay.
Now there are a lot of characters to go through, so we are not going to go through all of them all at the same time. At some point, you might encounter characters that seem new to you. However, your characters will have already met these other NPCs already, even if you have not recalled them. So let me ask, who is the one person on the crew who has helped you out so far?
Rosie the Halfling Bard.
The bard, yes.
No, Sandara
Oh.
Quinn.
It was indeed Sandara Quinn, the cleric of Besmara, who has offered to heal you should you encounter any wounds while during this terrifying void. However, Rosie is sad because she does not have her trademark violin. So, we will pick up where we left off, which is the night of the first day of your imprisonment, or I should say, day 0. You will have in your journal section ship's actions. So during the day and during the night, you can take at least one action. At night, you can take up to 2 additional actions, but you take a repeating penalty to the Constitution check you must make to remain from being fatigued. So we're going to start with your daytime action. What daytime action would each of you have liked to have taken during the day? I know we passed through it, but we're going back now retroactively. As you can see, there are a number of fine options. Obviously, with us doing this retroactively, work diligently. You don't really need to take that. But you could look around the ship, interact with someone, or go shopping.
Now, all of
With
our
what money?
If
Favors.
you recall, I believe Sandara told you that you could attempt to scare the quartermaster into giving your gear back.
Oh.
You would have to convince her something superstitious or supernatural is attributed to your equipment, as she did when she retrieved all of her gear by saying it was cursed by Besmara. So who would like to choose a daytime action and go first?
So make sure I understand this. This is in addition to the work that we've done?
That's correct.
Or okay.
It happens roughly during the 6 to 8 hours that you're working. You also can take this additional action. And as you can see from work diligently, instead of taking an action, you can instead get a +4 to your task.
I am going to opt for sneak.
Okay. You
Where
would
I
like
will
to sneak.
And I want to find what the setup they have for any kind of healing or ship surgeon.
Alright. Let's get started then. Here should be your new, much better tokens. Sneak, you are briefly exploring one area of the ship. You can take a single perception check as you head below decks. Is there a particular area of the ship that you see pictured here on this giant screen that you feel might serve as a infirmary? As none of the NPCs have told you that there is such a...
Knowing how classy these people are, I wouldn't be surprised to find it in the villages. But I think I will actually... Captain, first mate, hold... A6.
Alright, A6. So, make your perception check as you travel down there. And when you go down, you find yourself in the main hold, You sneak around for a short time. You manage to evade the detection of the cook, Ambrose Croup, who is currently drunk. And there is a man chained to a post. He seems to spend most of his time sleeping. He is covered in tar and feathers still. It seems to be a couple days old. And he just grunts from time to time, like, doesn't really speak. When you're looking around the hold, you find that the crew, has quite a bit of things stored around here. And there are 14 pigs that would be kept caged. However, from time to time, one escapes, and the man at the front end that is chained to the post kind of grabs it and puts it back in a cage and then falls back into a nap.
Okay. Do I see anything that looks useful that's stashed around here?
The pigs. There's also a staircase which you are sure must lead up to the captain's cabin. In addition to the staircase on the front end of the ship, which leads to the officer quarters.
All right. Is there anything that looks valuable and damaged?
There is currently no plunder in the hold right now. It's just various tools of the pirate trade, ropes, lanterns.
Well, I'm more looking for something I could use, mending or other spells on to get myself off of swabbing duty.
Ah, I see. There is a disassembled light catapult that you find in the corner with your check. It seems to be in fairly good condition, but there is a bit of rust on a number of places. It could be better maintained than it currently is.
Okay, I go ahead and mend on that.
All right. Anything else?
That's all.
Okay, so next person in line. Who would like to pick their daily action next?
I'll go. I'm going to try to speak with the quartermaster.
So you're going to
Sifric.
shop, or are you going to influence them?
I'm going to try to influence them because Sifrig really wants to get his axe back.
Okay.
Somehow.
So Sifri makes a brief stop in
There's
the
going to be havoc.
quartermaster's area.
Yep. I'll offer to trade her my daily grog.
Oh, will you now?
Yeah.
Do you have some sort of social check you can make to seal the deal here?
Wow, boy, that's a tall order. No. I mean, I can attempt a diplomacy, but I'm terrible.
I was actually going to plan to do the same action, so if I'm able to assist, I would be happy to.
I was actually gonna try to use my birthmark to try to scare her into superstition and
That would be bluff, but
get
yes.
get my alchemy stuff back.
We'll see.
And my thieves' tools. So if I could assist as well, if we're all doing the same thing.
Are you all just leaving duty at the same time?
Yeah, I don't think that's going to
Let me
go
ask,
real
are you
well.
sure that this is wise?
At the same time,
Yeah,
probably not.
Yeah, I didn't realize that context. I'll stay back. Sorry, Sifrig, you're on your own.
We'll
No
try
worries.
this one at a time.
Well, she's gonna make out like a bandit.
Oh, yeah. That's fine by me, because once he gets his axe, it's going to be all different around here. Let's see if
There's
this
a new
works.
sheriff in town.
Oh!
See if I can find her stats here.
They get a bonus.
You
Since
do
it's
get a
grog.
bonus because you offered to give her the rum.
Yep.
And Let's see here. She will return you the price of the grog's worth of equipment, which will not cover your axe, but it will probably cover anything else you'd like. Or you can give it to her for credit. It's going to take at least 2 grogs to get your axe back.
Okay, Sifrig will be happy to start a tab with her to work up the credit to get his axe back. He'll run around naked if he can get his axe. He doesn't care about the rest of his gear. Nobody wants that, though.
That reminds me, I do need to inform the players of a change that I made. I know that I said last week that we would be doing stealth will saves and stealth bluff checks and all that, and I have decided against that. I was convinced by a third party that it could only end in tears. Tears.
Yeah, stealth will saves especially.
Well, there's something to be said about, rolling your own demise. You feel like you deserve,
at least you're in control of it, yeah.
I will simply
or the dice are at the very, or the dice are at the very least. Dice that you can see.
Trust the party to.
Maybe you're responsible rather than in control.
Yes.
Maybe that's a better way to say it.
All right, so before you leave, Sifrig, Cutthroat Grok pulls you forward, and it's clear that she is much stronger than you are, and says, "Now listen here, laddie." You can feel the reeking alcohol coming off of her. "If you could find me at least 20 gold pieces worth of alcohol that isn't rum, or if you could somehow sing a pretty song for me, I would be so much more inclined to like you." Blah, and she starts dancing. So she gets you
wow, that's got to be unpleasant.
And a fresh clothing. She issues you a ship's outfit.
I'll need a rinse after that. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, we'll look into some more alcohol somehow. Oh, the cook's got alcohol. All right. We'll work on it.
Just remember, the cook is also her best friend.
Alcohol between friends. Just saying.
All right. So
all right.
Anything else from Zifrig?
I will try to let the others know, if I can, without a chance of being detected, that I've made some kind of an arrangement.
Sure. You easily pass a clandestine message. For Kirill, since he's working all day in the kitchen and then catching stuff up on deck as a rigger, that would not be very hard for you to find him somewhere. So who's up next?
Well, I want to see or hear from Sifrig, how that went. And it sounds like it went pretty good. So I'm going to, I'm thinking to myself, so she's probably got her extra stash of grog. Maybe tomorrow might be a better day to bargain for my stuff that is missing. Perhaps I will...
Just remember, she doesn't have the grog yet from anybody.
Oh.
She really loves alcohol. I think Sifri can attest to that.
Yeah, I'm wearing some of it, yeah.
Well, I have any clue to where there's some additional alcohol outside of the...
Oh, yes. You do. Other sailors have boasted of the alcohol of various types they have stored in their crew lockers.
And those things are probably locked.
They are indeed locked.
I need my tools.
Step one.
Kirill, I think if we get your tools back, we can make more persuasion with this drunken cook.
When you say that,
I think you and I were having...
The two of you are hanging out close to each other. I guess Kirill is spear fishing for those fish that he needs. And a whip cups above your head, and you hear someone goes, "Oh, look, it's Uncle Bookworm and Squirrely." Whoopsh! And Master Scourge is standing there, and he says, "No talking to each other, lads. Get back to shivering me timbers. Har, har, har."
Right away, sir.
I give him a wink and a nod.
I return the favor. Like we're on the same wavelength here.
So I'd like to spend my day action to influence Sendara Quinn.
She is already helpful towards you. You don't need to influence her any further.
All right.
Oh, I like all this writing here on the loot list. So, someone may want to be the quartermaster, probably, who I believe is Dan.
Yep.
May want
That
to be
is my
using
writing.
the crew list to track who is what towards you. Currently, as you may know, Sandara Quinn is helpful towards you. I have also opened up a party notes sheet so that everyone can make notes, which could be wise because I'm going to have recaps at the beginning of every session. So we don't need any one person in particular to put the notes in there, just anyone who would like to. Which brings me around to my next point. Adam, is there someone else you would like to attempt to influence?
Yes. I think the Master Scourge might be a good spot.
You think you want to shift Master Scourge? Very well. So you may make your influence check. I'm not sure what kind of influence check you would like to make.
It's going to be diplomacy. I'm going to basically brown nose and say the prowess you display with the whip, the way you're able to draw blood and gruesome scars is quite admirable.
Okay. Make your diplomacy check.
Okay.
It will all end in tears.
All right.
So, when you start saying that, he says, "Oh, you like my whip, do you?" And he just starts mercilessly beating you with the end of it. You take one non-lethal damage from being whipped with the hilt.
I'm going to grit my teeth and smile and say, "Thank you. Thank you, sir. May I have another?"
It's very clear to you that Master Scourge is currently hostile towards you. Actively hostile. And he starts muttering under his breath about you and Sandara Quinn. Anything else that you would like to do before getting back to work?
No, that's. I'll take my punishment.
I think that leaves just one person then.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide if I'm... trying to decide if I even want to influence anybody or if I want to explore the ship. You know what? I'm gonna try to influence my boss.
Ambrose Croup. Very well.
Ambrose Croup.
He is quite jovial and is willing to light a cigar with you and tap the ashes out into the stew.
Gives it a nice smoky flavor.
Gotta have the seasonings as a spice of life. So,
exactly.
What are you saying to good man Croup?
I'm mostly just shooting the shit, saying like, so how long you been on the Wormwood? What's your story, man?
Oh, I'm really drunk. I hate the Wormwood. Well, By the way, you don't have to call me Croup. Call me Fish Guts.
Fish guts.
I was trained as a professional chef at the Lobster's Armor. It's one of Port Peril's most popular restaurants. But, well, they threw me out for inappropriate behavior with my assistants. I was,
Oh.
I was making the soup while I was making the soup, if you know what I mean. I know it doesn't make much sense, but you get what I'm saying, of course.
Of course.
So I ended up serving on a number of sailing vessels around the area before I ended up with Captain Barnabas Harrigan, the only captain to give me an unlimited supply of rum every night. My problem is, about 2 years ago, Barnabas and I sat down for a game of dice, and I bet my life in a stupid drunken bet. And unfortunately, I've lost, and ever since then, I've been sworn to serve the wormwood for the rest of my days. It's alright, though. The rum isn't gone. You can
Well, as
tell
long
he's
as there's
actually he sounds happy, or at least not terribly sad, but just waterfall of tears falling into the soup once more
more salty.
through his his 5 o'clock shadow.
I'm so sorry to hear that. I feel almost in a similar situation, waking up here this very morning.
Oh, don't worry about it, lad. In a couple weeks or so, you'll be doing great. You'll be one of the crew. And at some point, you'll even be able to leave. Assuming you don't die first.
There's always that little caveat, isn't there?
Oh, yeah. Anyway, here you go. He hands you a big pot of fish stew and a carton of ship's biscuit to take up on deck. So now is the time for you to make your diplomacy check to influence him.
Alright. And I will be using inspiration for this because my charisma is in the negatives. I need all the help I can get.
So a 10, eh?
Yeah.
So you bumble over the words, and you actually move him from indifferent to unfriendly.
Oh.
You've dredged up such terrible memories for him that he just associates you with them now. And it's gonna be hard living with him now that he's your boss and you've,
Yeah, that's no fun at all.
Fish Guts Croup.
He's probably
Okay.
thinking about that staff member that got away.
More than one. So, we now reach the nighttime where Sandara Quinn introduces you to all the major portions of the boat. She lets you know that in the middle hold, the staircase up to the captain's cabin, you can find it up here. The door, however, has a trap on it. It's said that the officer quarters are also trapped. The door's there. Finally, the only way to get in that isn't trapped is guarded by Albert Hartshorn, the hulking idiot that you saw earlier. As you might have assumed, the very bottom A11 is, of course, the bilges, and the sleeping hold is in area A10, where everyone's footlocker is kept pushed against the wall.
What does bilges mean?
It's where the water comes in at the bottom of the ship, and so you have to pump it out to keep it both dry and afloat. It's typically a very difficult, terrifying job. That's like 6 hours of, standing in dirty water, cold, dirty water. It's also where most of the rats are on ships. They like to swim.
And everything in the ship runs down through what are called scuppers,
that's
which
true.
are holes. So everywhere, everything nasty,